Action Stories Part 1. What are the objectives of this unit? Listening. Listen to an action sequence. Speaking. Recount an exciting experience you were involved in or witnessed. Reading. Read stories with action sequences. Punctuation. Learn the use of parentheses. Vocabulary. Learn about prefixes and suffixes. Grammar. Learn about prepositions, prepositional phrases, and the past conditional tense. Thinking skills. Use thinking skills to recognize consequences, values, and ideas. Talk about responsibilities. Writing workshop. Write a recount of an action sequence. Preview. An action story is a recount that deals with the action and adventure. Action stories are a very popular form of writing. We are drawn to the danger and excitement in these stories. We enjoy the thrill of reading about adventures that we might never experience for ourselves. It is also much safer to read about these adventures than to experience them ourselves. An action story may be a short story, or it can occupy a whole novel. It may also be fictional or factual. In groups, discuss these questions. Do you prefer to read fantasy stories or action stories? And why? Imagine that you were given the chance to make a movie based on a book. Would you make a movie on a fantasy story or an action story? Give reasons to support your answer. Action stories recount a story and have a following features: an introduction, a sequence of events, a complication, a climax, a resolution, adjective to describe characters and settings, verbs to show actions, adverbs to show how actions are performed, frequent use of past tense. Reflecting. Ask yourself these questions and discuss them as a class. Do I like to read action stories? Why or why not? What elements of action stories do I like? Why do I like them? What elements of action stories do I dislike? Why do I dislike them? Listening for the sequence. The actions in a story always happen in an order. This order is known as a sequence. In this exercise, you will listen to a passage for its sequence. During the 1800s, the city of London was not a very safe or friendly place at all. Many children were often forced to live on the streets or to work in factories. The following passage is from the book Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens, filled with colorful characters and exciting adventures. It is the story of how a boy named Oliver escapes the streets. In this exciting passage, a young boy is accused of stealing a handkerchief. A crowd begins to chase him. As you are listening to the passage, pay careful attention to how the action sequence develops. Punctuation. Parentheses. Parentheses or brackets are used to surround information in a sentence that is not essential to the meaning of the whole sentence. The population of Singapore, within the parentheses, now at 4 million, is likely to increase even further.